Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantasy show. I am your honorable host, Chuck Bass, coming to you live from a hotel in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. We're on location. I've got the Cuck chair behind me. Chuck's Cucks might be coming into effect later tonight. We've got Tennessee Volunteers Pro Day is coming up. Listeners of the show will, of course, remember that I have been denied media credentials from any Tennessee sporting events due to an rather unfortunate incident involving myself and an Orange Pride Vols hostess back in 2014. But you know what? Statute of limitations can be your friend sometimes. But unfortunately, the University of Tennessee does hold media credential distribution in perpetuity. So we'll be scalping in one way or another. Look, guys, I just want to see some dudes. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see dudes who are of legal age. So before we kick things off, I do want to show you guys a little something special. You guys know the fast draft stuff has been happening all off season long. We're really rounding into form here. I want to throw a little bit of my Origins action onto the stage here. Now, this has become my favorite draft of the fast draft ensemble. This is an all rookie tournament. As you can see there, I have the greatest team you're probably ever going to draft in your entire life. However, if you're looking at what I'm looking at and you said, F that, I can beat that, I can put you in the grave, I challenge you to come on Fast Draft and get into this Origins contest. We'll be running until April 24th or April 26th, one of those two. So come on, come take my money if you think you're big and bad. You think you're going to do better than Hampton, Scattaboo, Harvey. Oh my gosh, Arroyo, Hunter, Donovan Edwards, a little college football 2025 love. Who doesn't? I mean, come on, what do you got? And you're not going to beat those boosters. But I challenge anybody to come on in, have some fun. You can ignore the image in the top right, or you can do something to it later by yourself when you're in private if you want, whatever gets you hot and going. So like I said, that tournament will be running. I might be selling some more Disney stock just so I can really put some more money into this, even though I already have it in the bag. So why am I doing that? I don't know. I'm just addicted to the thrill, guys. So Fast Draft, they've been crushing it. They've been pumping out tournaments up, down, left, and right. I could wax poetic about it all day, but why don't we let the man of the hour tell you a little bit more about it?
Rookie. It's all about rookie talk in fantasy football right now. So why not go use all that knowledge to do something other than a mock draft? Chris Jimino won $8,000 with just 2 teams last year, and each draft took 5 minutes. That's pretty good ROI. You can start doing rookie drafts for money today on Fast Draft. The Origins tournament is live. It is the place to go and monetize your knowledge of rookies and use your favorite Player Profiler host promo code for a $25 deposit match. Now let's go start drafting faster.
Your favorite Fast Draft promo host, who is that be? Well, obviously it's me. And why is that me? Because I give you guys hard-hitting stuff like this.
Seabass said that.
Well, if that guy at the table over there is Seabass.
That's going to be for you guys. So head on over to Fast Draft, $25 match, get it back, put the money in your pocket, and then come try and take some of mine. Now, enough of that. It's a very special time in the fantasy space. We're perfectly between the combine and the draft. And a special time means a special guest, right? You may know him as a content creator for Player Profiler, Dynasty Gens, all the hits, all the classics. I know him as a guy who told me he had a sales background, but I've really yet to see that alpha in him that he was supposed to just be laying the woodwork with. So please give him the opportunity to do that tonight. Here's our boy, Dusty Rhodes. What's happening, bud?
What's going on, everybody? Sorry I'm late. I was down at the Duval County Fair midget wrestling tournament. I had to defend my title.
Were you wrestling Travis Etienne? What was going on there?
There was whispers. We're going to get into it.
Well, now that Christian Kirk's out of town, I think he's the resident little guy you got to take down. I'm not too sure what else would be going on, but that feels like it. How you doing, Dustin?
Well, I think it's illegal to abuse blind people, so.
Ooh, now we're talking. This is it. The vision is already coming out. The show was going to be fun. I was excited to have you on because I knew we were just going to make fun of people the entire time, and we're already 2 for 2 right now. Yeah, good. That's what we're talking about. Let's kick it to the chat real quick. Slashy, the absolute, might be the AFS All-Star of All-Stars here. He just traded away Malik Neighbors, and he feels dead inside.
Wow.
He feels dead inside.
You're dead to me, Slashy.
Slashy had a good run.
One of my X posts again.
He had a good run as the AFS All-Star, but he did say kick his ass Seabass. So maybe I'll put him as an alternate or something like that. Jamie's here too. Jamie, happy to have you. Oh goodness, what would you? You know what? Let's go off on a quick one right off the bat. What would you have to get for Malik Neighbors to get Malik Neighbors off of your team? What would have to be coming to you?
I'm not sure.
It's not easy, is it?
Do it. I would probably need Malik Neighbors is in the category where unless you're getting Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Brock Bowers, Bijan Robinson, any of the studs, other than that, I'm not letting them go.
Yep.
I did fleece somebody though for Neighbors recently. I'm about to pull it up.
That's what I like to hear. Now, would you trade Malik Neighbors for David Montgomery and a handful of mid-round picks?
No.
Just Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Definitely.
You guys are getting a little peek behind the curtain here.
Oh, yeah. He outscored Marvin Harrison in that league. Marvin Harrison was wide receiver 41. David Montgomery was running back 13 in that scoring format. So I'll take it all day. I ended up with Montgomery, Jawan Johnson, another receiver, and Isaac Guerrero. So it worked out.
Hey, everybody who's going to be starting this year and probably starting significantly considering
San Francisco 49ers starting running back Isaac Guerrero.
Yeah. He got Breece Hall, Zay Flowers, and Devontae Adams was the return. Now, I like that. I like all those players, and I like what their next couple of years are going to be like. So we'll see. That actually might not be too bad if Breece Hall can have a rebound city here, depending on your league format and what the Justin Fields does to the run game. But you know what, Slashy, for all intents and purposes, you fucked up, you blew it, and we love you. Does that feel right? All right, good. Okay, now we have a theme for tonight's show. Now, obviously, we're going to be doing some makeovers, some remodels. We're going to be doing some renovations to a few skill position groups on offense. IDP, look, you guys want to do the IDP thing, go over to Fast Draft, hit them with the code CBAS and get in those IDP tournaments. Those are going live right now. You can take advantage of that. But this is going to be an offensive show, and we're going to be very offensive people. And I think that feels like the right way to go. So, Dustin, I'll ask you this. When I gave you this show topic, how did you approach it? Did you have 3 teams that you were already thinking that you were feeling negative things for? Were you doing some research and this just fit with it? Like, how did you come up with the ones that you came up with?
Well, if you've paid attention to the off season, it's basically like pulling your fingernails out with a pair of pliers, being a Steelers fan at the moment. I'm wearing a Justin Fields jersey right now that I got for Christmas, and it lasted for a week. Oh yeah, and I have a bow tie on too.
Nice, came dressed up.
Occasion since we were going to trash people today.
Good. Well, you know what? You're wearing trash colors. You're trashing people. I love it. Feels good. Sounds good. Maybe I'll go sit. Maybe for the first segment, I'll just go sit in the cook chair back there. It is nice and lovely and inviting, and I'll just kind of let you cook. Does that sound like a good way to go?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually in your basement right now because I lost my house because of a Jordan Love auto pick in that draft. So
Jordan Love is not the guy you want in an auto pick, but you know what? That league is all about content, and we're all about providing content. So I think you'll bounce back, and you'll bounce back pretty nicely. Okay. Now you are the guest. You're the guest of honor tonight. You're wearing Steelers colors, so I will let you take the first pitch here. Tell us we're going to be doing 6 skill position groups. We'll ping pong back and forth. Tell us about your first one and why it makes you feel so bad.
So the Steelers wide receiver room, I mean, we haven't had a quarterback for 4 years. So it's just being perpetually mid over and over and over again. And I'm not the biggest fan of DK Metcalf personally. I mean, he's been basically a wide receiver 3, 2, barely.
He's been very inconsistent with a couple pretty good years and some very high scoring games, but his ability to put together long stretches of consistent production, despite having pretty good quarterback play, depending on who you ask. I'm a Geno guy. I think his production should have been better. And It's confusing and perplexing to me. Now he goes to a step down in quarterback play. You tell me.
It's I just don't understand the plan. Like
Mhm.
they might as well have just put their entire offseason plan in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, because it couldn't be more obvious that they're going to try to draft a quarterback.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, oh, we're only doing a 1-year deal. And then Aaron Rodgers? Are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers. There's no
Not your
way. That
jam?
guy he'll end up in the river if he's our quarterback. I'm telling you right now.
So let me ask you this then. So you would like the Steelers to remodel their wide receiver core room. They have made an attempt to do so with one guy. Are you asking them to make a significantly more sizable move? Do you want to see them ship Pickens off? What are you hoping that week 1 comes around that this group starts looking like?
I don't know. I really want him to trade Pickens for Joe Milton or a tight end. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking into it. Something like, because we have all those compensatory picks. So
Mhm.
like throw a third, maybe like a 4th round pick,
Sure.
Pickens, get back Joe Milton, and maybe like a second or something. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
we need anybody that can complete a pass. The reason
Mhm.
I'm out on these, they're just trash. They're gonna rot. Our quarterback, we have no quarterback. I've never seen
Yeah.
anything like this in my life. Just
Mhm.
sitting here, Najee Harris is gone. Justin Fields is gone. Javon
Mhm.
Hargrave is gone. We didn't draft Lamar Jackson. We drafted Terrell Edmonds. He's not even in the
Oh,
league anymore.
so you have real deep-seated hate for the current situation on top of just how uneasy this team looks like it's going to be for yet another year.
Well, as a Steelers fan, you're not allowed to complain because we always are above 500, and then we
Right.
have 6 rings. But the last time we were in the Super Bowl, I was in college in 2000, what, 7, 6?
Mhm.
I don't even remember, 11, something like that. It's been my whole life.
Yeah, it does feel like they've wasted a long stretch of having what we all feel like is a good team without having the thing that makes you a great team. So last year, just looking at it right now, which is really funny. So George Pickens, 103 targets. He cracks the threshold while only really playing 13 games. He played 14, but he was hurt in a couple. So let's say 13 games. They don't have Calvin Austin comes in at 58 with second, and then they don't have another wide receiver crack the top 8. That is so funny. Mike Williams gone. This is a team that feels like they should. There's another. When you look at this Pro Football Reference page and then you look at the rest of the roster, it feels like there's another move they should have already made that they haven't made yet. Is that Kirk Cousins? I mean, is there a trade candidate other than Aaron, or a trade? Is there a quarterback out there other than Shador, other than Jackson Dart, other than Joe Milton that you feel like you would at least feel comfortable going into the season with?
I'm totally fine starting Mason Rudolph.
I'm
I
into
was
it too. Honestly, it's weird.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his coming out of Oklahoma State. He was a beast,
Mhm.
but we just never. I don't know. It's like Mike
Developed them.
Tomlin's like schizophrenic or something. Like he just
Yeah.
wakes up one day and he's one person, and wakes up the other.
Mhm.
I don't even know. I don't know what to say. It's just
No, there's
apt.
yeah, it just feels like every single year this is the story with this team, and I hate to see it happen. So Steelers, we'll add them to the list. Hopefully we see some major changes, whether it's through the draft or a big move made, because they're all on the hot seat there, regardless of the winning record or not. So
I
we'll
blame
check.
Big Ben Roethlisberger for not retiring when he sucked.
You know what? But you think about it, you think about those teams and what he was doing, and
He was a turnover waiting to happen. Like
yeah,
he
but
was like Jameis Winston, but old and like the size of a refrigerator.
I'd love to see him now, though. I'll tell you what. Okay, now let's move on to number 2 here. I'm going to keep a similar. I'm actually going to. Mine is like the cousin of yours because it's interesting, but I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic, a little bit. Now, you mentioned DK Metcalf. I'm going to talk about the team that DK Metcalf just got traded from, and I'm going to talk about their wide receiver room, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, it has been an insane run for Seattle wide receivers. You have to go back to 2012 to find the first Seattle wide receiver room that you wouldn't look at and go, this is a good team. This is a good group of guys here. Combinations of Percy Harvin and Golden Tate and Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, all in their prime, playing together for pretty good stretches of time. They had a quarterback that was able to at least get production with Russ and Geno. Things have changed. Obviously, the roster has gone through a little bit of a renovation, a remodel, as you may say. They have an emerging difference maker in JSN. They have a past his prime, but I believe feisty and motivated Cooper Kupp. Could Cooper Kupp give you like a Diet Coke version of what Keenan Allen did last year with the Bears? Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to be the loudest guy in the room saying that, but I still think it's possible. So let's bring in somebody who can take the top off. Wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas. I know that the Seahawks could go interior line. It's in shambles, but they can address that with the rest of their picks in the draft if they want. I want them to bring in a speedster that I think would give you an ideal version of what Metcalf and Lockett brought without maybe the downside that they had. So then you have JSN, you have Kupp, you have Golden, weapons for Sam Darnold to work with, because if Sam Darnold doesn't come out of the gate swinging, it's going to be, people are going to turn on him really quickly, because a lot of people are expecting him to fail, and maybe don't credit his success in Minnesota to the extent that they should. How do you feel about anything I just said? Golden to the Seahawks, good Seahawks wide receiver room, helping Sam Darnold out. How does it make you feel?
I love Jackson Smith and Jigba personally. I understand like people are looking at the team, they see Cooper Kupp, they see JSN, they think they're both slant boys. But I don't think people understand the Gary Kubiak offense. It's going to be a plussed up version of kind of what we saw with the Rams at the end of the year. They're going to come in with massive linemen. They're going to run the ball. Zach Charbonnet is an RB1. He's going to take over that backfield because, Kenneth Walker will pull his hamstring within 5 minutes of the first quarter of the first game, probably in the preseason.
It will have to be a Kenneth Walker injury, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Kenneth Walker personally, but anyways.
What about professionally?
Yeah,
or
I think they have a good system.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a good system. There's going to be so much over the middle because of that, and they don't have a tight end. So who else is going to catch all those scam PPR points,
Who else is going to do it? They've gone through another purge here, and I think they have an opportunity. 49ers, I think they're going to rebound, but how strong are they going to be? I can't say for sure. The Rams are teetering on the edge of this team either being one of the best in the NFC or maybe not even have enough guys to field a real offense. And then the Cardinals are always off doing fun Arizona things, turning over election results and, I don't know, rock hunting, whatever it is they do in Arizona. I think there's an opportunity with a good defense that they have and maybe some young pieces for the Seahawks to take grab of this division for the next 4 or 5 years. And that might not always mean winning it every season, but being in the hunt, being a playoff team, and maybe trading off and on. So let's give them the offense to do that. That's all I'm asking for. They have the running back room. They have the quarterback, quote unquote. Let's make that wide receiver room a real strength. Would you like the fit as Golden there? Do you think that would work well with them, or would you prefer maybe another wide receiver from that range?
I think they need to take an X receiver. It seems like a good spot where Trey Harris could land. That's really the missing piece. That, or they need to take a tight end potentially.
Yeah, I could see one of the tight ends would be fun if they're able to grab like a Loveland. Would be pretty sweet depending on how gun shy teams get with tight end. We'll see. That'd be fun though. I like that. Okay, so let's kick it back to you here.
Game, but I'm worried. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Continue.
I was going to say Golden has an all-around game. I'm just worried that a coach is going to stereotype him and he's just going to waste half the season just running go routes. They need an over-the-top threat, but he has a better skill set. I think he's a lot more like JSN than people want to see.
I think maybe I saw the Gary Kubiak hire, and I got all of my Rashid Shaheed shares from last year. Might have taken over my brain for a little bit. It's possible. It's possible. Might have happened. All right, let's kick it. Let's kick it back to you here. I'm gonna let you go dealer's choice with whichever were the next ones you want to go to, because I really like your next two as well. Tell us about your next renovation.
So the Vikings running back room needs a lot of help. I know they just signed Jordan Mason. They have Aaron Jones, but we just got done with the combine. If a running back doesn't run a 4.3 40, they're not good at football. And I mean, look at Aaron Jones in the combine. He ran a 4.56. His vertical was a 10.7 broad jump. He only did 16 reps on the bench press, so he's obviously not a good running back. They need to replace him.
Clearly, he's terrible.
And then if you look, look on Twitter. Everybody that knows football tells you that if they don't run this 40 time, that they're not good at football. And then you look at Jordan Mason. I mean, what's he have? A career average of 20 attempts. So, yeah, I think they need a lot of help. They probably need some more wide receivers, too. They probably need a quarterback. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at all their combine metrics and make sure that they're good at football.
So you want to take the 14-win Vikings from last year and just completely renovate them? That's what we're going with.
I'm just going by what people that said they're experts on Twitter told me to do. So.
Oof. And you know what? It's a tough time to be an expert on Twitter because there's nobody to keep you in check. But maybe we have to be those guys. Do we need to step up and fill that void for people?
Did you know that a explosive run in the NFL is 15 yards?
Don't you feel like an explosive run should just be when you said, "Wow, that guy's got it"? I feel like it should be an eyeball thing. Because what if a guy gets tackled at the 9 yard? What if a guy gets 9 yards and then his offensive line pushes him 6? Is that an explosive run?
It sounds like a Jerome Bettis play to me.
It's a tricky one, right?
Though, it's like we're worried about a 40-yard dash when in reality that's 2.5, almost 3 explosive plays. And when they happen on the field, it catches everybody off guard. It's not like something that you can recreate. There's something in the defense is broken, and then that play happens. It's very similar to, a bomb down the middle for 50 for a touchdown. I just don't understand why we are putting so much weight in an evaluation on something that may happen 5% of the time, But in reality, though, Aaron Jones is a beast. He's probably he's the GOAT of the 2017 class just because he was nobody. He was the first player ever drafted out of University of Texas San Antonio ever.
And he was in a running back battle with Jamal Williams early in those days. That was a real thing. And I think going into, I don't know if it was the 2017 or 18 season, one of those, there was juice behind people. Are you taking Aaron Jones? Or are you taking Jamal Williams? So let me ask you this then. So so we're satisfied with the Vikings running back room. So you wouldn't recommend a remodel there? Or do you think there's like maybe another third down back they could add to make this spicy?
I could see them grabbing a satellite back just because of the depth of the running back class. And Aaron Jones is great, but he just doesn't stay on the field generally. There is a shit storm coming for running backs this season. I mean, I'm not like the biggest. I like data, but what I do is I see stuff with my eyes, then I look at the data and I compare it to see what's going on. But we're due for like generational injury regression at the running back position. I look at historical data and I hold that as like the law. And there was no injuries last year. These guys are getting older. We have a generationally athletic running back class coming in. I think this is going to be like, look at your roster on your dynasty team from 2022. 2023 and laugh.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be next year. We're going to look at these rosters and we're not going to even, you're going to have just bums all over the bottom of your dynasty roster.
Yeah, it could definitely be a black hole season where everybody learns the wrong lesson from the running back domination that was last year. You bring up the health, and that's a good point because people are going to look, especially in fantasy, they're going to look at Aaron Jones, who did play every game last year, but that is not who Aaron Jones is, and he's only getting older. So them trading for Jordan Mason, I think, is a good sign. I think Jordan Mason showed he can be a capable member of a committee, as well as, they beefed up the entire line this year, and it was a good line last year, before injuries. And they basically said that shit is never going to happen again. I don't care who gets injured. We're always going to have a good offensive line. You got JJ coming in. Certainly expect them to run the ball as much, if not more. This could be Feast City in Minnesota.
That pissed me off when Christian Darrisaw got hurt on a play with like 3 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, it was shitty.
That was terrible.
Well, this could be this could be a fun team next year from the running back room again, because Aaron Jones was kind of a lot of people's maybe a 0 RB target last year, depending on what draft you were doing. They're going to go from Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, and Ty Chandler to potentially Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and maybe one of these nice backs in the draft who could be a guy going forward. So that could be a headache and a lot of fun, depending on who you have and when you got them. All right, let's see here. What do we want to kick it to next? That puts me back up on the clock here. And let's go. I'm going to save my other one for last because it's just too funny. So I'm going to skip ahead here. And I'm going to go with the Chargers running back room, which is really funny to me because this used to be like the most solidified room for a long time, not just from one player, but it used to just always be a room that you were like Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, people taking the torch left and right. You just felt like you were going to get production out of them. And now they're in a really funny position. So last year, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Kamani Vidal. I would like to see this group transformed into Najee Harris, Kamani Vidal, and Amarion Hampton. Now, I think the Chargers really struggled with explosive plays last year. You brought up explosive plays in the last bit. This team was near the bottom of the league, and I don't think you bring in Najee Harris on a one-year deal to fix those issues. I think you bring him in because he can be an unrealized and healthy version of J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Hampton is someone I'm suspiciously high on. I don't really need to get into his traits and his prospects. We all know he's a very physically strong runner, and he's perfect for Harbaugh. And he could bring an element to this team that can get them into the second and third levels. And that's just what they lacked last year. They put too much on the wrong guy's shoulders. I think when you see a new offensive coordinator come in, they always kind of, if they don't have the talent to be an explosive top 3, top 5 offense, you see them kind of like kill you like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And I think that's what they did last year. I don't think they're going to do that again this year. I think they'll take a step forward. Greg Roman's offenses under Harbaugh or not under Harbaugh always have. So give me a fun, well-rounded running back room in LA, and make me feel good about it. How do you feel about that?
I love Najee Harris. He's my favorite. He was my favorite Steeler.
Yeah.
But his game is just like absolutely perfect for the Harbaugh system. He's not going to have to come off the field. I mean, if you look in 2021, 17 games played, 300 rushing attempts, 1,200 yards, 3.9 a carry, 74 receptions, 467 receiving yards, and 10 total touchdowns. Like, he's a monster. And I actually just did some lazy math, took the snap shares, carries, receptions in total for San Diego. Both of their running backs only had 50 more total attempts than Najee did this year. So if he comes in better efficiency with that line, he's going to go from like a mid RB2 to maybe creeping into back end RB1 territory.
Well, that's of course assuming that they draft Hampton with the 21st or 22nd pick, and then he blows his knee out. Because if Hampton's in that backfield, I don't know how much work he's going to get. But I'm being a wishful thinker here. This is what I'm hoping they do, not necessarily what they will do. It's just what I would like to see, because I would like to see Justin Herbert with a running back that can pretty much that would be a top 15 pick if we didn't have Ashton Gentry in this draft. I feel very strongly about him as a prospect. I have been tricked by North Carolina running backs in the past, and you know what? I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to feel pretty good about it. Either Hampton or
sorry, I was looking up stats and completely missed you say the words of Marion Hampton, so that's my fault. But I'm an Marion Hampton denier. I'll say it on in front of the entire world. I'm a Marion Hampton denier myself. I want to see him on the field personally because he played in the ACC, and either the competition was terrible or his line is full of Hall of Fame offensive line, because it was like the parting of the Red Sea. And I just worry that when he comes in, the competition level and the compensation in his game, I just think he might be one of those guys where halfway through the season he takes over and then he's a league winner, but you suffer through the beginning, the first half.
Yeah, it's definitely going to cramp. It's going to depend. And I don't think how much he's going to be a success depends on his landing spot. I think, like you said, how quickly he gets to that success will be kind of the determining factor. So if you go somewhere like the Chargers, which I would love to see them, because I'm hoping that this is a long-term thing, right? I'm hoping he's not just a running back next year, but for the next 3 or 4 years. I feel pretty good about that. However, Najee Harris, and you know this probably more than anybody, you're wearing the Steelers gear right now. Sometimes he's just inevitable. There's that next man up that we want, and he can prove that he can get in a way. We got Mr. Buy and Sell in the house saying, I think you're giving Vidal too much credit. Look, I'm too cash committed to Vidal to give up on him yet. So if they want to bring him in when they're winning by 25 going into the fourth quarter, I'll be a happy guy. I want to see him catching wheel routes down the field. That's my jam. I'm going to factor him to this equation 0%.
Yeah, I was going to say he has a Hall of Fame highlight.
He does have a Hall of Fame highlight. It's amazing, and you got to lead with something. Okay, I'll ask you this before we move on to the next one, actually, and we'll kick to a commercial.
Yeah,
how would you?
I mean, that's how.
How it's what? No, sorry. All right, never mind. All right,
you're good.
We're going to we're going to kick to a little bit of a commercial break here, and then we will grab our last two.
If you play in Dynasty, you need Dynasty Deluxe, our premium package for Dynasty Leaguers. We rank over 300 players, updated every week, all year long. And there's a win now mode and a rebuild mode with superflex and tight end premium controls. And a Dynasty League sync, where you can say, sync down all of my sleeper teams, all my FFPC teams, and then you can browse around your leagues for who has needs, and then you can use our trade finder to see what kinds of trades are happening in leagues that are similar to the one I want to do. Then you can analyze trades using our trade analyzer, which balances the lifetime value, which includes pick values out to like 2028. All of that plus the rookie guide, $25 value, is included. So if you're just in one Dynasty League, Dynasty Deluxe is well worth it. And use your host's promo code, and you can bump up to All In and get $25 off.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing that promo code in the bottom right corner. It's not just for Fast Draft. It'll be for that Dynasty Deluxe as well. So get over there, get your action. Player picks valued out to 2028. I would be selling those right now if I was in a Dynasty League. And you know why? Because I'm a sick fuck who can't even picture himself being alive in 2028. But you know what? That's a personal thing. I can't recommend that to everybody. You do what suits you best. Okay, now back to the action. Dustin, you've got one that if you had asked me when I was doing this exercise, you take every position group in the league, this would have been probably the last one I would have ever imagined anybody talking about. And that's why I'm so interested to hear where we're going with this one. Tell us about your last renovation makeover.
I think the Bills quarterback room needs some work personally. I mean, if you look, Anthony Richardson ran a 4.43. Josh Allen only ran a 4.75. Completion percentage the first couple years, 60%, 66, 63. I remember, don't you remember in Josh Allen's third season, everybody said he wasn't accurate, that he wasn't serious about football, that you can't get more accurate. And then what happened? He blew up, right? So what I'm saying is they should just trade for Anthony Richardson, since he is doing the same things that Josh Allen did, and then they'll just get younger and maybe they can get over the hump. You know, that's all.
So instead of bringing in Daniel Jones to compete with Anthony Richardson, you'd like to see Buffalo bring in Anthony Richardson to compete with Josh Allen. Younger, more physically gifted. He's more well respected in the building. Might be a culture changer. You know, he's not dating some superstar movie actress, which could be a distraction. There's all kinds of signs that the Bills could be making a huge mistake here, is what I'm hearing. So is there a possibility that...
and if you look at...
No, go ahead.
I said if you look at the EPX on PlayerProfiler.com, I mean, you're really not missing out on much. Josh Allen passing EPX 117. Richardson was number 11 with 109. Explosive plays, 50 to 70. Rushing, 93. Richardson's at 109.4. We probably, you know, I mean, there's two people on Player Profiler that are comped to Josh Allen, and Anthony Richardson and Drake May.
Anthony Richardson and Jagger May. That's what you said, right? Anthony Richardson and Jagger May. All right, shout out our boy. I'm looking through some...
the GOAT May.
Yeah, I'm looking through some pretty troubling stats right here. So Josh Allen, going back to his last 10 playoff games, he doesn't have one game with over 500 total yards. I don't know. I don't know if this is the answer. This could be, maybe there's a Luka trade in there. Maybe there's a Luka Doncic trade. We could get, you know, maybe some team can bring Josh, or, you know, maybe in this situation, the Bills would be the Lakers and they can give their Anthony Davis away and hopefully get, you know, that Anthony Richardson product back, then really start building for the future. Interesting. The Bills busting out the remodel. Who would have thought? Slashy's with us. He's been with us all the way. This is 2000 IQ. Look up Josh Allen stats versus the Jets. I actually have a VPN on my computer right now that doesn't allow me access to any Jets stats, and that's for my own protection as well as the protection of my viewers. So that can be an issue, but hopefully that'll end after Justin Fields saves the day there. All right. What do you got there? Is that the victory blanket?
Yeah, it's the robe.
Nice. I'll turn the AC down there in the basement. I know the dungeon gets a little cold. That's my bad. I'll turn it up.
I have to go for a midnight showing at the Duval County Fair, and I'm going to be gold dust this time.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, where's your applause?
You know what? The only thing I am worried about is getting a boner.
All right. Oh man, we're feeling nice and chub right now. Okay. I'm going to bring us home here. This one is not only is it insane and hilarious, but it's also topical. And I will have the listeners at home, in the car, smoking lounge at the airport, wherever you're listening to this segment at. I'll have you know that I had this picked well before yesterday's news broke out. And it's going to be the quarterback room of the New York Football Giants. So last year, Danny Dimes, Tommy Cutlets, Drew Lock, just rudderless, pathetic. Nobody wanted 1 second of them. Now you bring in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, and maybe Shedeur Sanders. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with that third pick? I've mocked Shedeur to a lot of teams because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen in this draft, and I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know how teams feel about him. All I know is that if the Giants roll into 2025 with Jameis and Russell Wilson as their quarterbacks, everybody in the building is getting fired. And I think they might know that. So if they draft Shedeur, does that buy them 2 years to try and develop quarterbacks? Does it buy everybody some job security? Who knows? It might. The Depends on how good the Eagles do with Saquon Barkley. And look, this isn't too much shade, right? Jameis, he'll get you 6 wins, and he's great for fantasy. Russell Wilson, he'll get you 6 wins, and he's bad for fantasy. I don't know which way they go here. I haven't known what the fuck this team has been trying to do for maybe 3 or 4 years now. So can you tell me, Dusty Rhodes, Gold Dust, can you tell me what's going on with the Giants and what their team is going to look like week 1 of the season?
Well, I don't really think the quarterback situation matters much for Malik Neighbors. I don't think it could possibly get worse than Drew Lock. So there's that.
Sure.
James gave us, I think, 6 weeks of above replacement level quarterback play. I mean, the number one play in the playbook is fuck it, Malik's down there somewhere.
That's right.
That's exactly what Russ and Jameis do. I don't know if New York's going to happen. I mean, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but Dak Prescott's getting traded, and Shadur Sanders is supposedly going to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that puts a damper in my segment, but that sure as hell makes it a little bit more clear who the starter is going to be for the Giants going forward. Jameis Winston, in 5 full starts last season, had 4 quarterback 1 finishes. I mean, that's the guy. That's the guy. You give him Malik Neighbors and you let him cook. And you know what, baby, we got a remodel going. And that's not a budget remodel. That's not, some shitty sidewalling and some door handles from eBay. This is real Charleston cobblestone shit we're talking about here.
You want to know a secret?
I do. I get paid for secrets, so let's hear it.
So I was at the Duval County Fair, and I ran into Travis Etienne, and he told me that he's getting traded to New York, and he's going to go to Jameis Winston's LASIK doctor, and then he's going to be the RB1.
So you're telling me that Travis Etienne, a man famous for lacking vision and a man famous for not having a Jameis Winston as a quarterback, is not only going to become his teammate, but he's going to regain that vision that we've all been hoping for?
That's what he told me. I don't know.
Did you have to beat it out of him, or was he happy to share this information with you?
No, we were just sitting there watching the midget wrestling, and we were bullshitting.
I love that. That's
I don't know
what you
if he
do.
was talking to me though, because his one eye was over here, and the other one was over here. But I heard the whisper.
I'll throw one at you here. Where do you value Travis Etienne if he gets traded to the New York Giants? In actuality, where do you value him? Where do you rank? You don't have to give me like, oh, he's running back 26. Yeah. You don't have to tell me that. Just tell me like where you think he slides into the mix.
I would trade a late second for him if he got out of Jacksonville. I'm pretty bullish on Tank Bigsby. Etienne's in a contract year. And like he DeAndre Swifts it. He runs into the back of people all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. If Tyrone Tracy can, and that's no shade to Tyrone Tracy, but if he can show signs of life, maybe we can bring in a guy who's just dying to get LASIK. And you know what? Like you said, nobody knows how to get it like Jameis does. So I'm sure he's got the hookup.
Well, I think he's blackmailing him and holding the information hostage. So, and for the record, I love Tyrone Tracy.
Oh no, there's no shade at Tyrone Tracy. He's he running back to the stars. We all know that he's the man of the hour, and don't necessarily want to see his time in the sun come to an end so quickly. But it does feel like that's what NFL teams do, and they've been doing it a lot lately.
Every team needs somebody to grind out snaps and take all the brunt of it. So.
Yeah, you know what? That's what we did tonight, man. We grinded out snaps. We got it in. We got the reps in. We're feeling pretty good about it. I loved it, man. We just cranked through 45 minutes of unfiltered, unadulterated fantasy football content in March. Not a lot of other people are doing it, and they're certainly not doing it with the swagger and the pomp and circumstance that we have going on this show right now. So let's
make sure you at me on Twitter about everything I said tonight, because it's definitely exactly how I feel in reality.
Yes, make sure you get on there because Dustin. He told the Bills to trade Josh Allen. He told the Vikings to sign some running backs because they have some shitty ones, and he told the Steelers that you know what they're running their wide receiver room that they've worked so hard to acquire. Tear that shit down and send everybody out ship to sea. That's how he feels, and you know what? I co-sign all of it. So get on there and do it.
It's a peace mission. They gotta let them go. Don't let them suffer.
Yeah, if you love something, let it go before the CTE demon takes over and tries to fight the team. That's just
I'm done, dude. You're canceled.
That's a Pittsburgh Steelers tradition in wide receiver room, unlike any other. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was one hell of a run here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up. Dustin, I'll put you on the spot here to plug where the people can find you, what you have going on, all the good stuff.
So we just launched the Third and Dynasty podcast, me and the legendary ball knower Chev 90. We're going through the NFL, taking like a 3D approach. Right now we're going through the positional series. We just broke down the wide zone, and went through some sleepers, breakouts, and busts for the 2025 class. I would definitely check that out because the depth in this class can flip your dynasty roster, and you want to take the right guys. With wide zone being all over the league, it's pretty easy. I mean, Aaron Jones was what, a 6th round pick, right? And
look at him now.
landed in the right system, and boom. But yeah, all my stuff is on Player Profiler now. Just became an affiliate actually with Fast Draft and Player Profiler. So I have a code. I'm not going to say it on Chuck's show, but DM me and I'll get you.
No. Here's what you can do. I'm going to go sit in the cuck chair for the visual, and you tell the people your code.
All right. So use promo code Dustin, DUSTIN. You can get $25 off the all-in package. That's $110 for the year. That's less than $10 a month. And then check out Fast Draft. You can get up to 100% deposit match, up to $50 with promo code Dustin. Check out the podcast. Most importantly, like and subscribe to this channel. We have a dozen content creators just shelling out awesome stuff here. And all we're missing is eyes and ears. So that's all I got.
All right. That felt good. I don't know if I'm ever going to do that again, but it felt good for at least a minute. So well done. Appreciate you covering home base for me while I was out there doing my freak thing. All right, everybody. Like he said, promo code CBASS. That's the way to do it. That's the way we always like to do things. Dustin, my man, this has been a pleasure. I like to give my guests every time at the end of the show and give me a number 1 through 5, and I'll get us out of here.
4.
I cannot live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now.
Now's the time to save on Sears installed central air conditioning. Get 0% finance charge.